My name is Staff Sergeant Jay Healey. I grew up
regular parade only on steroids.
Are you sure, Jim?
This parade is going to be spectacular. It's nearly twice the size of our normal parade. There are about 130 something, some odd units in this parade, from everything from marching bands to the Shriners, clowns,
to the United States Army.
The United States Army.
Yeah.
First, let me, though, introduce my wonderful co-host. With me on this side, I don't know if it's my left or my right because I don't know which way people are looking at me. Anyway, by the way, did I say I'm Jim Shaw from?
No, you didn't.
I did not.
And the prestigious.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Shaw, and I'm the publisher of the Lexington Times, and I also am the chair of the LexMedia Board of Directors, and been doing this for quite a while, and I really love it, and I'll tell you, LexMedia is a great organization. With that, I'll introduce Justine Wirtanen, who's my capable co-host from the last couple of years.
Yes, Jim, this is my 4th year. Thank you. And I just wanted to introduce, I'm Justine Wirtanen, longtime Lexington resident, community volunteer, and sales manager of William Ravis Real Estate right down the street on Mass Ave. And I'm so excited to have our realtor, one of my good friends and neighbors, Martha Savini.
Hi, I'm Martha Savini. I'm a lifelong Lexington resident. I work with Justine down at William Ravis, so we'll try to take it easy on Jim today. I also am on the Chamber of Commerce board with Jim, and also the Cary Library board, where we're set up right in front of. So very happy to be here with you guys today.
Right, and let's take a minute to introduce Brother Chuck. Chuck Shaw is on the street. He's our person on the street. And I have to say this about Chuck. I always knew you'd end up on the street.
That's the one, too.
Chuck, you're live.
Okay. Oh, I'm live?
You're live.
Well, welcome to Lexington to the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. The parade is about to get underway here, coming up Mass Ave momentarily. And I just welcome everyone to joining us on LexMedia. And this is my 3rd time doing this for LexMedia, and I enjoy doing it. We hope you all have a wonderful time today, and we hope you enjoy the parade.
All right, Chuck, thank you. Chuck, thank you. And we're going to, actually, a little earlier today, we had an incredible demonstration from the U.S. Army in recognition of their 250th anniversary. We had the Golden Knights, and they did an incredible demonstration. We're going to bring that to you right now of parachutes. The Golden Knights, world known. They're known over for the world. They're extraordinary talent. Wait till you see this. You're going to love it.
What an amazing display that was. Were either of you there live to see it?
I was. I was going to go down onto the green and watch it, but I was able to I had a much better seat right here. You can look behind me. You can see where we watched it happen. Mm-hmm. We watched them. We saw the whole thing from the time they jumped out of the plane all the way onto the green. They did an extraordinary job, and I mean, it's going to be a highlight. It's one of the things that people will talk about for years to come.
Absolutely.
We're going to go off, for the next half an hour or so while we wait for the parade to actually arrive here in Lexington Center. It has stepped off in East Lexington. It's working its way down the avenue, but in that period of time until the actual parade arrives here, we're going to be bringing you little segments of things that have been happening throughout the day. We have a young man, Sergeant Healey, who grew up here in Lexington. He's a member of the Old Guard, which is the Commander-in-Chief's personal, I don't know if you call it militia. Their beautiful uniforms were designed by General George Washington, and they're musicians, and they are they do demonstrations and drills in colonial kit. You're going to love these guys. They usually come to us every year, about 40. This year we had nearly 150. We had nearly the full complement, and these are extraordinary. But Sergeant Healey was a member of the William Diamond Jr.'s Fife and Drum Corps, and he's gone all the way to the point where he's now a sergeant in the Commander-in-Chief's personal militia. So let's see that.
Staff Sergeant Jay Healey. I grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts. I graduated from Lexington High School in 2018, and then I went to college out at Cliff College in upstate New York. Afterwards, I joined the United States Army, and now I am part of the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. It's such an honor to be back in my hometown, to be able to represent not only the United States Army, but to represent this community on such a momentous occasion. Growing up in this town and coming to the Patriots Day event every single year and being able to watch the reenactment since I was a little kid, it's a great honor to be able to celebrate that with everyone in the city as well as, town, as well as all of our guests and foreign visitors that will be coming in as well. So my first Patriots Day, gosh, I think I was maybe 3 or 4. One of my favorite memories was actually going up to the old belfry right up over yonder. And so when I was that age, I was maybe no more than 50, 60 pounds, and that bell weighs quite a bit. So I remember pulling that rope, and then that bell actually was hoisting me up, that my mom actually had to pick me up and grab me from that rope. And then for me, the musicianship in the United States Army has always been around me. So growing up in this town, I played with the William Diamond Jr. Fife and Drum Corps right here in Lexington. And every year I would go down to Washington, D.C., down to visit the Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. And just fostering that relationship from a very young age helped me understand and really tell me this is what I wanted to do with my career long term. It was really through the music program that shaped what I wanted to do in life. So I played the trumpet in the Lexington High School concert bands, from the concert band to the wind ensemble, all throughout the Lexington education system, and that really shaped what I wanted to do. And then going into college, while I didn't study music full time, I always knew music was going to be part of my life. I never knew that it would become my full-time job. It's surreal to be back here in the hometown where it all began, not only for the American Revolution, but also for myself. Just being a part of this community and being able to celebrate that with the community members, foreign visitors, as well as all of my battle buddies and colleagues that are in the United States Army, being able to show them the town that I grew up and being able to share such a momentous occasion with them and to really foster this relationship that we've had not only in the community but also with the United States Army and all of our members of service. So for us, the job is never finished. We're always going on, and one of our phrases now is "this will defend." So we right here in Lexington, but we're continuing to work and defend this country, as well as both domestically and abroad, being able to share our passion for music, but then also in all the roles that the Army has to offer, such as an astronaut, an engineer, cooks, truck drivers, and even musicians. We're always defending and we're always pushing the boundaries of what the United States Army is. I'm just looking forward to marching down Massachusetts Avenue and trooping right in front of the reviewing stand. Watching the parade, again, every year has been such an honor, so to be able to do that in this new role is something that I never thought I would be able to do. I want to thank my mom, who has always been a supporter of me ever since I was a little kid. She was the one that drove me to all of my music practices as well as to all of my rehearsals, so I want high school community who supported everyone, and they understood the importance of arts and how important that is for a child at such a young age to develop that passion. So I am a great example of one of the products that they were able to create, and I'm sure there are going to be many like me that follow because of the Lexington High School system.
That was a wonderful piece by Sergeant Healey. Jim and Justine, I just want to take a second on this amazing day, on this amazing weekend, to recognize the hundreds, if not over 1,000 volunteers that have put so much time and effort to make this weekend a successful time for both our residents and those visiting our town for the first time or from out of town.
Well, they've been organizing this for, well, I know for over 7 years, the commission's been active for the last 2.5 years or so, and it's been a huge, huge yeoman's effort on behalf of so many people.
It really has. I mean, from every police officer is working today, fire, our select board.
Oh, looks like we've got the Black Hawk helicopters coming over. I knew they were coming. I thought they were coming, I guess they're coming ahead of the parade.
They're a little early.
Just a little early.
So exciting.
Yeah, this is a flyover. They've actually done the length of the parade. They started in East Lexington at the start of the parade, making their way through.
Well, that was an exciting little segue.
Yeah.
Back to our volunteers. We really just can't say enough. Every single facet of town has been involved in this endeavor this weekend, making it what it is, keeping it safe for all of those visiting, those of us who live here. It's been outstanding.
And I just want to add how humbled I am. I mean, people have been volunteering for more than just the year. You know, as you said, Jim, 7 years, but there's been so many events over this year.
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that one of the things that it's called the VO 250, the Volunteer 250 event the other night, was the launch of the collective effort to accumulate over 250,000 volunteer hours from April 19th today till April 19th next year. And at the event the other evening, they brought together representatives from dozens of volunteer organizations that have all pledged to help us achieve that goal here in the community. It's a tall order. We're going to have where the countdown calendar was, we're going to have an arch down there, and it's going to actually follow the count. So as it goes up, every 10 or 20,000, it's going to, the light will come on, it'll show up until we reach 250,000 volunteers.
And with that, we have this piece on volunteerism in Lexington. We'd love to show you.
It was put together by LexMedia, by the way. We want you to see this.
Yes.
What volunteer promotes is kindness and empathy. It's a very special bond that you can create with people through your volunteerism. So many committees, so many organizations that helps all aspects of the town.
We do a lot of community events, and one of the things that makes that all happen is the volunteers behind it. There's volunteering time all throughout the year, big picture stuff and small stuff that helps a nonprofit.
Lex Parade is actually an all-volunteer organization. Everything that we do depends on volunteers, and we love our volunteers.
And we're here in Orange Fest because we're part of the volunteer team for the first annual Bikeway Block Party. It's thrilling that a small group of volunteers has brought this to Lexington to volunteer. And I think people are gonna want to do this again.
It's really intended to bring out everyone together.
Everyone can pitch in a little bit. And so what we're hoping is that people lean into being part of something bigger than themselves. If we had to pick one word to describe who we are as Lexingtonians, it's volunteer.
Lexington Education Foundation is a volunteer-run nonprofit organization. Lexington Education Foundation is made up of volunteers who are extremely passionate about our students and our teachers. And for this reason, we've had many volunteers who have been on our board and on our committees.
I think one of the most exciting things about living in Lexington is that we have such a high participation rate of people who go above and beyond by volunteering their time. But we were just like regular people who got together and thought, hey, we have this idea. And it grew so that we had hundreds of people helping to get this monument in the ground. When we unveiled the monument, we had hundreds of people there, and we could honestly say it would not have been possible without each of those people playing whatever role they played
It's just a way really to help the community be better.
They're just people who constantly volunteer to give back to this community because they think that this community is not about the individuals, but about Lexington itself.
What a great piece on volunteer. Oh, we're back. Great piece on volunteerism. And with that, we need to recognize Susie Barry, who's been the chair of the Lex250th, and we have recently caught up with her, so here's an interview. All right, it's coming up in a minute, no worries. Oh, there we go. Are we clear? Who's the Grand Marshal?
Hey, Rick, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Is today, you're not out of the woods yet, but does it feel like a payoff today?
Absolutely. You know, when you have a large event like this, an outdoor event, you start watching the weather. And the key event for me today was that Golden Knights parachute jump. You know, earlier this week it looked like rain or the winds were going to be too high and they weren't going to get it in. And they were able to do it. I talked with some of the jumpers after, and they said when they jumped out of the plane, it was 40-mile-per-hour winds, which they normally don't jump into. But they did it because it meant so much to them as Army soldiers for what Lexington means to them. You know, this was the first battle in the American Revolution. It was where the first blood was shed. It's what they fight for every day. So, you know, we usually say what a glorious morning for America, what a glorious day for Lexington.
Absolutely, and it went off without a hitch. They all landed perfectly fine, right?
They did. They absolutely did. They brought in the streamer, Lexington 1775. The Brigadier General placed it on the Army flag in that ceremony, which was very moving. And yeah, it was beautiful to see.
You've been at this for at least 3 years, I know. Talk a little bit about some of the preparation that went into today.
So it's been actually 7 years, someone reminded me. And, you know, it took a bit to get us off the ground. You know, COVID was in there in the middle. And the commission's been meeting. You know, been involved.
Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Never see you here. Thank you.
Cut that just a little bit short. It's been an exciting day. I mean, I'm looking out, and I'm sure you can see behind me, out in front of us, there are thousands of people. I don't think, I understand this is the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington. It's the beginning of the American Revolution. The first shot heard around the world. We call it the shot heard around the world, but the first shot in the American Revolution were fired on the green that's sitting right behind us. It's significant. On that green, there are 7 men who were slain that day, who were buried on the green, who were really the first casualties, the first war casualties in the history of the United States. It's very moving. And this morning, it was very touching. They did a sort of an extended version, but oftentimes, in all of the pomp and circumstance, we often forget that these men are there, and they've been there. They were buried, but they were reburied. They were placed, I believe, in 1799 on the green. That obelisk was erected in their honor, and that's the first American Revolution war monument in the entire country. And it pays homage to the men who fell that day, April 19, 1775. We had a little bit of a visit from our United States Senator Ed Markey. I'm very excited. He's announced that he's seeking re-election, so he's up for re-election next year. He's somebody who's always worked hard, and he's somebody who's no stranger to Lexington. He represented Lexington in Congress. I want to say since 1982. He's been a congressman since 1976, and then several years ago was elected to the United States Senate. But he has a great story to tell. His first civics lesson, it's a great story. He used to be, believe it or not, he worked his way through college driving a Hood ice cream truck here in the town of Lexington, Massachusetts, where he was challenged about his ability to ring the bell. He had a victicular license. He said he had a right to ring his bell near the green, and he actually went to the Board of Selectmen. He tells me it was his first interaction ever in a civics setting where he actually had to present to a board and make a case. He won the right to ring his bell and sell his ice cream, and he became Eddie the Ice Cream Man. Many people know. Mo is here somewhere, and I keep telling Mo, if you work hard, someday you may be a United States Senator. Anyway, Senator Ed Markey was by here a little while ago. He's been a long time and good friend of mine, and I was so pleased to see him. I know we've got a couple of minutes that we've spent with Ed, or let me say Senator Markey. So let's go ahead with that.
I'm doing great. It's just the best day of the year, Patriots Day in Lexington.
Absolutely. What was your favorite part? Did you make it to the battle this morning?
I was not able to make it to the battle. I've seen the battle in the past, and it's always inspirational. And I think we're going to have an all-time record today. People are coming to Lexington because they know that liberty started here, and this is where the defense of liberty will always begin as well. And that's what's happening right now in 2025.
How exciting were the green knights falling out of the sky, jumping out of the sky into the battle green?
Honestly, this is the center of our country, the center of the world today, because democracy started here. The fight for liberty began here. The throwing off of the reins of dictatorship all began right here, and I think the whole world has their eye today on Lexington, and I'm just so proud to be here and to celebrate with you.
Great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.
He's one of the great statesmen, and you know, it's not to get embroiled in politics, because we don't really do that in this forum, but I'll tell you, I do feel comfortable with Senator Warren and Senator Markey with us down in Washington, and not to mention Catherine Clark, who was here also celebrating with us today at the rededication of the Battle Green. We're going to go out to Chuck, and see, I think he might have somebody out there to talk with. I think he's got a couple of young folks out there. So let's go out to Chuck right now, because he's got some eager beavers out there that want to talk about patriotism.
Hi, so I'm back on the street. I have Charlie and Anna Crothers. They're here today from Maynard. So welcome. What? Yeah?
Yes.
How about you, Anna? Look right up over there. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're excited? Well, we can't thank you enough. What are you looking forward to seeing?
The parade.
The parade? Any particular group? The Minutemen, the Clowns? You want to see the Clowns? Perfect. All right, well, Charlie wants to see the Clowns. Anna, who do you want to see?
I don't know.
You don't know? Everybody, right? All right, well, I'm going to turn it back to the desk. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Anna. Have fun.
That's Chuck is right at home with the kids. You know, he's a big kid himself, and
you know, I have a special place in my heart for Chuck. My first annual parade was done with Chuck, so he made me feel. Yes.
Well, yeah, you know, that's right, because we were supposed to do it together, and I left you at the altar.
You left me at the altar for a very special reason.
Well, that's
Jim.
right. And
Jim.
3 years ago, they presented me with one of these white hats. Oh, I guess we lost the video.
There
visual.
it is.
Yeah. I was honored to receive this. The Lions Club white tricorn hat. I think most people know it as for, you know, activism in the community. It's kind of a Citizen of the Year thing, but I always thought my father would get this, and when, you know, I was really emotional when I got it, and I actually accepted it in his honor, because frankly, you know, I wouldn't be here involved in this community the way I am without my dad sort of instilling those values. Chucky's the same way. You know, he did that throughout our entire family. So,
you know, Jim, one could say that many of us would not be involved in the community if not for you. So you're like the father of Lexington in a way.
Well, I appreciate it, but I like to find good people and bring them in. That's what I do, you know.
You do it well.
And you've been very, very nice about it too. I know, you know, because Martha, I asked her to serve on the Chamber of Commerce board, and then within no time at all, she's our secretary of the board, and now she's our vice president of the board, right? I've got big plans for you.
Apparently. I just roll with it.
Sounds like Jim wants to retire.
No, I tell you, I'd be lost without it. I love doing this, but I love working with good people, which is, by the way, one of the reasons I've been spending so much time, so many years with LexMedia and Florence and the team here. We'll talk more about them later. I know we've got a piece on the depot. You know, the Lexington Historical Society has changed its name to the Lexington History Museums. And it's kind of the collection of all of their houses, and then anchored by their brand new depot building that they remodeled and dedicated not to just colonial history in Lexington, but history in Lexington in general. There is so much there for folks to see that really, everything from the fur trade in East Lexington, the Second World War, even Little League. Some of the exhibits there are extraordinary. They did a nice job. Let's take a look at this, because I think people are going to be surprised. And I encourage you to take the time to get down there and visit.
Absolutely.
This event fondly for the rest of my life.
This space was actually 25 years in the making, so I'm thrilled that it's finally opening. We purchased the building in 1999, and it wasn't until the last 2 years that we were able to fundraise, find a design company, and work on all of the elements that need to come together to create a museum.
What went into the selection of the stories and the objects, really beyond the revolution, really was a process. We were trying to figure out what stories do we want to tell, and what items in our collection can help tell those stories and bring those stories to life. It started off figuring out 4 themes, which is art, architecture, and expression, creating community, making a living, and activism and change. Those 4 themes kept showing up in our research. And from there, we grabbed the items in our collection that tells the stories of individuals as well as groups and certain moments in time.
So we have everything from exhibition cases to interactive elements, and basically we look at all of Lexington history through time.
The accomplishment belongs to the whole community, belongs to the history museums. And so just having the moment arrive when finally, after all the, frankly, the angst, the work, the ups and the downs of the project, having it come together in that way with that spirit, because you could feel the spirit in the room. People were happy. They didn't mind the rain. They were happy to traipse around and huzzah.
1, 2, 3, huzzah!
It was fantastic.
From 10 o'clock in the morning till now, people have just kept coming. It's just been great. We've had several hundred, maybe 400 or 500 people, and the reaction has been so uplifting for us.
So I'm very proud to be here and be part of history, and it's just hearing everyone's feedback, and it's very exciting and very timely.
Up until now, our 3 house museums primarily told the story of the Revolution. And while there were some personal stories of the Revolution, we were constrained both by the houses being 18th century and by the collections inside them. And this gives us an opportunity, because of the space, to look at everything from pre-colonial era all the way through till today. And we keep collecting. We are collecting every day, and we're collecting stories.
There was a lot of planning, a lot of thinking about the future as well. So how can this space be utilized to talk about the past, the present, but go into the future?
There's no way to sum it up in a single sentence, other than to say perhaps it's a collection of delightful and fascinating and unexpected stories.
Hi, welcome back. And now I want to talk about the Lexington Youth Commission. They are leading the way here in the parade, and to start with, they are handing out 15,000 flags, American flags. And I just wanted to mention, Lexington Youth Commission is Lexington High School volunteers. Most of you know high school students need to volunteer at least a minimum of 40 hours through the 4 years of high school. The Lexington Youth Commission is a wonderful opportunity for those kids to volunteer and get those hours. A lot of students do many more, but they help with things. For example, Halloween. Lexington is famous for our parade and just the center celebrating trick-or-treating the day, and those volunteers go out and hang up the balloons, and then again at different holiday events and celebrations throughout Lexington. But they're always so eager to please and happy to be volunteering, and it just makes me proud as a mom.
They encapsulate the spirit of the community. I mean, look at these young people. They're enjoying themselves, interacting with younger kids who they're looking at, maybe these young kids on the side saying, maybe someday I can then be a member of the Lexington Youth Commission. As a proud dad, I have to say, my son Devin, who is the government coordinator for LexMedia, and he's here with us today helping us in production. He's a former vice president of the Lexington Youth Commission.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, of course, thanks to my dad, who kind of instilled these values in all of our family, all the way down to including Devin. But these kids are extraordinary. What they do is really, they don't rest. They're constantly doing things. It's not just special occasions. They give out turkeys at Thanksgiving. They join with efforts with other organizations. It's not just them on their own. I know with Rotary Club and Lions Club, they've with the Rotary Club, I know for sure that they on Thanksgiving Day they will bring turkey dinners to folks who are at home and otherwise.
And look how engaging they are today, getting everyone involved on the streets, and they have double duty with all these extra people.
Oh, this is a busy day. It sure is, and we're excited. We'll have another little bit of a break now because I wanted to point out too that this is the first year that I can remember that the Dance In Studios, Thelma Goldberg and her dance teams are not leading the parade.
Yeah.
So the
Jim, I don't know if you know this, but my daughter Grace danced for Thelma for 15 years and was in this parade for many, many years. So we've been enjoying it and watching them for so long.
It was an absolute tradition, and Thelma is an absolute gem in this community. There aren't many, she's got children of children, and then some coming back. Watch, kids who have participated, who have their own kids in their program. But she's a true gem.
And you know what else she does, which is great? She inspires such a love of dance, so that extends beyond high school graduation. My daughter's dancing in college. She'll probably dance the rest of her adult life.
And by the way, she has adult programs.
Yes.
It's not just, she has them for like 5 years of age and up.
That's what I wanted to mention.
Absolutely.
I found out they weren't walking in the parade today by a friend of mine who said she's now, as an adult, taking tap dancing lessons.
Yeah.
So it's really, and they're still performing and part of the day. They're just not part of the parade.
Right. Well, and you know why? Because of the length of this parade. They just couldn't stop. And normally what the dancing needs to do is they need to stop to do a little bit of their demonstration and their dancing.
Right.
But they couldn't do that and do their dances justice. So what we're doing essentially is they started at 1:30 today to about 2:15 with two other dance troupes. And they were doing dance demonstrations in front of Cary Hall, which we will bring to you at some point. We actually had somebody dispatched down there, and we were able to catch that on film. And so they are participating today. They're just not leading the parade.
Right.
It wouldn't be the same without them.
Right.
And here, Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to, we've got Chuck. Chuck, let's bring Chuck on.
Can we go on to Chuck
to the street?
Chuck's got the Youth Commission.
Hey, everyone. All right, welcome back. I have some members from the Lexington Youth Commission, and you are?
Abigail Mann, Sophia Florent, Lily Frankella, Sophia Glavin, Julia Lagore, Samantha Quattlebaum.
And are you ladies having fun today? So you've walked up the avenue the whole way, handing out flags. Perfect. All right. Well, wave to the cameras and tell everyone to have fun. All right. Back to the desk.
Okay.
Sure. You know, I wanted to mention also the Lexington Youth Commission holiday. You know, during the holiday time, they now join us at the holiday lighting, and they dress up in all sorts of holiday costumes, and they sing and they perform with our music acts at the holiday lighting, and just make it really special for the community.
Can we go out to Chuck again real quickly? I'm
yes,
sorry.
No, I love it.
Is it possible? He's got Maisie and Watson.
He's got very special, two of my favorite guests.
Chuck, you're there with Maisie and Watson.
So I have the Lexington Police Service dogs with me, and they are?
Maisie and Watson.
Maisie and Watson are on the parade route with us today. They're the rescue dogs, and they're the resource dogs for the Lexington Police Department. So we thank both of you for being here today. I can see the excitement in your eyes. All right, thank you. We're going to go back to the desk.
Well, you know, Maisie and Watson are part of the newest edition, and it's basically part of the community policing outreach that the chief and other senior members of the command staff at the Lexington Police.
Well, they even, I'm sorry, Jim, but they even participate in the middle schools. I think they make a lot of visits to the middle schools as well.
They make visits to the middle schools, and they call them comfort dogs, but they do so much more, and they're sort of an addition and a new addition to the police department. And they become very popular ambassadors for the Lexington Police.
Absolutely. It makes everyone more comfortable when you have an adorable dog around.
Well, you know, on this topic, I'm sorry. I'm so passionate now about dogs, but I just...
You have a dog?
I do, but I won't be selfish and talk about my dog. I just want to talk about the impact of having dogs around in a community like this, and at a parade. You know, when you have them in the schools, it just releases all sorts of calmness and people and students, and in a parade like this, it just brings joy. So
absolutely,
I think that it's an amazing thing.
It creates a bond between kids in schools with our police officers. Having dogs is just a great link in relationships and trust. And
yeah, I'm excited that the police department now has Maisie and Watson.
Yeah. Well, you know, throughout this broadcast, I've decided I want to do a couple of shout-outs. Some folks who couldn't be with us downtown today for whatever reason. Some folks not feeling up to it health-wise, or just unable to get down here. And I've got a dear friend, Jean Hart, who's somebody my wife and I have known for years and years. We taught her daughter CCD back before we were married, and then we've been married nearly 40 years. So, you know, but Jean Hart, she's a local artist, and she has a gallery in town now, but she's been very active with Lex Art, and prior to that, the Lexington Arts and Crafts Society. But Jean, I just want to let you know we're thinking of you today, and we hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Oh, great.
Okay, and you know, right, we're oftentimes going to go out to Chuck, probably more times than we have in the past. But you know, Chuck's a pretty interesting guy. You know, he'll tell you.
Not only is he interesting,
he's actually got an interesting guy with him.
He does.
I'm my brother's brother. So anyway, I'm back. I got Cleve Coates. So Cleve Coates is the lead security. Oh, all right. I'm not back yet. Oh, I'm back. So we're with Cleve Coates. He's the lead and head of security for the Lex250 event. Cleve is a Lexington resident, born and raised, Lexington High School graduate, started his career with Lexington Police Department, and then transferred to the state police, and he was a sergeant for the K-9 unit, and then he was with Deval Patrick's lead patrol. Cleve, what does this mean to you of being the lead security for this event?
Oh, it's really a big deal. Having worked on Lexington PD years ago, I was on the drill team, our honor guard, and I actually marched in the parade. So that was really a big thing for me. Chief Corps was retiring at that time, so he was a grand marshal. So it was really big for us to march with the chief during that time. But it's also big the fact giving back to the community. It's been about a 2.5 year build-up as far as the security platform for this event. We put together a lot of the assets that we use at the Boston Marathon. We brought them over here to Lexington. And it's not just Lexington, it's Arlington, it's Concord, the National Park Service, in other communities together. We put together a robust plan as far as security. All the assets that we need, hopefully we even had to use, are on standby. And a lot of assets, even the State Police helicopter is flying over at about a mile out with the high-profile cameras that can assist us if necessary.
Perfect. Hey, well, listen, the parade's coming up the road. We can't thank you enough for keeping the town of Lexington safe. And we appreciate everything you've done for us. And come back later. We'll talk some more. All right, we're going to turn it back to the desk.
Okay, well, we can see the Spirit of 76 coming, which is basically the indication that the parade has arrived here in Lexington Center. You're going to see a lot of banners along the way. It's important to point out we have several financial sponsors. We could not do this parade without the financial support we get from our local business community. And as the chair of the board of the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, I can say from my personal perspective, this is important not only to the businesses but to the community. And we're happy to be a part of it. But I wanted to point out Kurt Everett from the Everett Insurance. He's also from Lexington. He was a titanium sponsor, I think that's what they called him, and made a huge and very generous donation. So you'll see his banner lead the parade. Behind him is the Lexington Minuteman Company.
Well, and, I also wanted to mention the Spirit of 76. The drummer is a longtime Lexington.
Absolutely.
And orthodontist, Sam Levine.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yep.
Lovely.
There's Captain Parker.
Right, in the middle, well, you've got Jamie Lee, who's in the front, in the center, the immediate past captain command. I think that's Jamie Lee. No, it's not. But with his hat off is Barry Cunha,
yeah.
He's a former captain commanding. This year's captain commanding is standing in the middle carrying the flag, and that's Steve Cole. He's been a member. He's portrayed William Diamond in the Minuteman Company for years. This year, he has the honor of being portrayed Captain Parker as captain commanding of the Lexington Minuteman Company. And others, members of the Minuteman Company, are traveling behind in some of the golf carts.
Coming up is the Lexington Firefighters.
Well, we want to point out the platinum sponsors, too, if we can. Lexington Chamber of Commerce, Omar's World of Comics, the Dunn and Gould families, and I can't quite get the last one.
It was the Mass Health Connector, Jim.
Mass Health Connector. So thank you to all of those organizations. And then behind that is the Lexington Firefighter Color Guard.
Honor Guard.
Honor Guard, I'm sorry.
And
Honor Guard.
Again, another volunteer organization that really participates in the community when needed.
Mm-hmm. They do a lot of memorial celebrations, funeral work, and other special events by request, all on a volunteer basis.
And we've got the Grand Marshal here, a personal friend of mine, Charlie Price, 94 years old. He's been a member of the Minutemen Company for over 50 years. An extraordinary individual, well-deserved honor as this year's coveted position as Chief Marshal of this parade.
And right behind them is the Lexington High School Band.
Right. These guys are always great. The Lexington puts out great musicians. They do a lot of things right, and this is one of them. The music program at Lexington High School is spectacular on every level. It doesn't matter whether it's the jazz combo, the marching band.
Yeah, let's give them a listen.
Well, now we're seeing the Lexington Select Board, the town leaders. Prior to that, we saw the Lexington Police Honor Guard. We don't want to forget them and leave them out. But we have with us actually a whole slew of local elected officials. I'm seeing Jill Hay, Benita Kumar, of course our chair Doug Lucente, Joe Pato, and that's our state representative Ken Gordon, state senator Cindy Friedman, Mark Sandine with the blue jacket on, and then members of our school committee behind them.
Yeah.
These folks work all year long, and of course, here's our Senator Markey again. He loves these parades. You know, he's been marching in these parades for years, and he just loves it so much.
I can't say enough about all the people that just walked by. I mean, the amount of hours they have put in, not only for this event, but for so many events that benefit our community, is really humbling.
Right.
I agree, Martha. It's like hours and hours of Zoom calls and meetings to prepare.
Only Senator Markey could pull off a press conference in the middle of a parade. I love that. I absolutely love it. Look at him. And you know he loves what he does, and it shows.
Okay.
And then your friend Rachel. You can finally talk about her.
I see a French flag coming down the street.
Yeah, well, you know, these are our sisters. This is our friends from Antony, France, a city that's just about 7 or so miles due south of Paris. Laurie and I, my wife and I, had the really good fortune to have been able to visit with them in 2011, actually during the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And what a special tribute the city of Paris and our friends from Antony provided for us. It's in honor of that sort of solemn moment. But these folks have come a long way to help us celebrate, and they're excited to be here. I've actually spent some time with them while they've been here, and I've known several of them for a very long time. It's always great, and you know they've invited us to their country next year. They've got, after the election, Mayor Senat has invited everyone from Lexington to come.
Lovely. And then we have our sponsor, Everett & Sons, a titanium sponsor, followed by Beth Sager, another parade sponsor. And then we have a very special guest. Jim, I know you're excited about this one.
I'm very excited about this one, and so hasn't a lot of people in Lexington. Very excited. Our good friend Rachel Gratch, you know, I have met more people from the class of 1984 since she's arrived. I've had the good fortune to have spent a lot of time with her while she's been here, and I did introduce her the other night at the volunteer event. And she's been absolutely amazing. You know, she's even finding time to talk with Channel 7.
She looks like she's having a great time in this parade.
We have my high school.
And Chuck's got her. Chuck. Put Chuck on.
You have what?
Go ahead, Chuck.
Here's
say
Debbie
hi.
Holden. Well, we have them all here today. Rachel, say hello. Oh, Mrs. Dratch, hello.
Hi, Lexington. Hello, Lexington and Chucky Shaw.
My classmates, we had Eve Rutina, Debbie Holden, and Rachel Dratch.
I don't know if we can.
And we have Mrs. Dratch. You have a great
my friend
day.
Elaine.
Class of 1984.
Rachel's mom.
Yes.
Anyway,
all right.
I'll tell you, there's nothing she did not do for us when she got here.
No.
She held press conferences. She went to all kinds of events for us. She's just, you know, I can't say enough about her.
And she's just so witty and quick, isn't she?
She is.
But I loved her speech the other night at Carey Hall.
Yeah, she did a great job. This is the Massachusetts State Police Pipes and Drums. Let's hear them.
Yeah.
They're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year, guys.
You often find them at the funeral services of fallen officers and other events that aren't as somber.
Oh, and here's another special guest, the Minuteman Cain Award recipient.
Right. Well, I guess I'll take that one because Fred Johnson is somebody that I have known for a very, very long time. A great guy, a well-deserving person to receive this award. Give us a wave, Fred. Nice to see you. and he really is an extraordinary guy. We actually went to Antony with Fred.
Oh, you did? Nice.
We did, and he's done so much. We have the last year's Minuteman Kane Award, Ashley Rooney, who actually writes for the Lexington Times. We're very excited about her. She's in the parade this year because last year she fell and broke her hip.
I remember.
Right,
It was so sad.
at the time of the award, and she couldn't participate.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the Lexington Lions. They do so much for our town.
They do.
All year long, really. Every major event they're a part of.
Yep. Janet Perry and Paula Rizzo are driving the Lion down the road. And, of course, they sponsor the annual White Tricorn Hat, the Lions Club White Tricorn Hat.
Which is coming up right now.
Speaking of which, here we are. And this year's recipient of the White Tricorn Hat is Susan Rockwell. And what an honor for her. I mean, Susan, a resident since 1955 and just dedicated her life to Lexington. And right now, current board member of LexMedia, the secretary, but really I can't say enough about the different organizations she's been a part of, Council on Aging, Carrie Lecture Series.
Oh, there's so much she's been involved in. And by the way, she's being driven by White Tricorn Hat winner Peter Kelly.
Oh, yes.
And then this year, guys, also walking by we have two 2025 Pat Flynn Outstanding Youth Award recipients. We have Saya Setti, a senior at LHS, who has logged over 250 volunteer hours in her school career. She works with veterans, has led charitable drives, and helps mentor peers through so many different programs. We also have Izzy Barbazino, a lifelong Lexington resident and vice president of the Youth Commission. She has organized many town service projects, and she leads with heart on athletic teams and has earned national honors in Italian and poetry. Both of these young ladies reflect the value of the award and the legacy of Pat Flynn.
Yep, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Edith Flynn. We lost Pat Flynn not long ago, and Edith Flynn, his wonderful bride, is a good friend of this community as well, and I haven't seen her in a while. I just wanted to know we're thinking about her. We miss Pat, and we think of you often, Edith. We've got some clowns here, clowning for the kidsfoundation.org.
Yes, and an organization for the last 16 years that's been raising money for children in need. So really outstanding they could be a part of today.
These are the coming up are the unsung heroes of Lex250. I say that with all sincerity. The William Diamond Jr.'s Fife and Drum Corps, they have attended just about every event, including our gala for the Chamber of Commerce. They have been invited so many places, and I don't think they've turned away one invitation. I think they've been at everything.
Let's tune in.
Everyone loves a unicycle and everyone loves a juggler, and right now we have Peter Panic, who's doing both.
I can't chew gum and tie my shoes, that's how that goes, but hey, all the power to him.
And we've got our platinum sponsor, the Mass Health Connector.
Oh,
and what
judges.
About, yes, I was going to say.
All right, float judges.
Float judges.
Yeah.
Right, and it looks like Beverly Kelly, Carla is there, and I can't quite recognize who the other is.
And next up is the Middlesex Sheriff's Honor Guard, one of the most recognizable units for the Middlesex County.
Peter Katushin, who's the sheriff and has been sheriff for a while, he's a personal friend and a great guy. He was here earlier today celebrating the rededication of the Battle Green. He's one of the most dedicated people I know. He's got a kind heart. It's a tough job, and recidivism is down. It's one of his personal important objectives to make sure recidivism stays down, and he works with repeat offenders and folks with dealing with drug issues and other things. Okay. Oh, we have the Liberty Ride, the Great Liberty Ride, and the folks that were running in front are folks from the Economic Development Office and the Visitor Center. I'll tell you, the beautiful new Visitor Center is awesome. We're looking at Sandia, who is our Economic Development Director, and of course we're looking at the Liberty Ride.
Well, I can't speak highly enough about how much they do.
Yep, we're going to send it out to Chuck. Brother Chuck is on the street
right now
with
is our state representative, Michelle Socolo. Michelle, once again, welcome to Lexington.
What a great day. It's a beautiful day.
Aren't we having fun?
Having a blast. This is nothing like it. It's incredible how many people have turned out today.
What does this day mean to you, being a Lexington resident, seeing this every year as a child, now as an adult, as a state representative?
It warms my heart. It's just having grown up here and seeing all these crowds and how we're all turning out to honor our community and the men who sacrificed on our green. It's a celebration that'll never be forgotten.
Awesome. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Oh. Yep. Next up is the Mattatuck Drum Band. And, the purpose of this band is preserve and teach the music of America.
They're an ancient fife and drum band.
I'm not kidding. I get goosebumps when I hear this music. It just makes me so proud to be an American.
Coming up is a really beautiful float and a huge group, the Lexington Girl Scouts.
The Girl Scouts of the USA started back in 1912. Founder Juliet Gordon Lowe.
We all love their cookies, too.
I was a Girl Scout. Were you, Martha?
I was not.
No, it's okay.
Did you sell a lot of cookies?
I did. I was in Walpole, Mass. at the time, but I won the award in 4th grade.
All right, it has to be said. I've eaten a lot of cookies. I'm sorry.
But the Girl Scouts do so much more for young children, and just really I'm proud to be part of that organization.
Look, I see boxes of cookies on that float.
Do you?
I'll be right back. mint,
the thin mints.
Thin mints, and I like the peanut butter creams.
All right, I'm going to get myself in trouble because the one I like changed their names. The coconut caramel delights.
Caramel delights.
That's what I love. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Somebody knows their cookies. Anyway, it's great to see them here, and look at they're out in big numbers. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. And right behind them, we have Lex See Her coming up down the avenue.
And how fitting Lex See Her's mission is to make women visible.
They've been very active in the last couple of years.
They run many programs, a vibrant research team helping to shine light on Lexington's revolutionary women.
Right. And let's not forget that monument they unveiled last year.
The brand new monument, right. Unbelievable, the effort behind that.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful, beautiful tribute. You talk about volunteer hours. The amount of volunteer hours that went into this, unbelievable. Now, Lexington History Museum, we were talking about how they recently changed their names. And here they are sort of pointing out to be, to the public, how important it is to come on by and visit them at their new location. Actually, the old location, the newly reformatted.
Yes, they just had the big celebration of the new renovated, and they're really encouraging the community to stop by and see it.
It really is beautiful. It's worth a visit. This is the old pumper, by the way. This is actually what they used to fight fires way back in the day. The Lexington Boy Scouts are moving that forward. PAC 160.
PAC 160 also this morning hosted one of everyone's
that was
favorite.
Troop 160.
Oh, Troop 160. My bad.
Yeah, PAC 160, I believe, are Webelos and Cub Scouts.
Okay.
Now, they all could be related, but it could very well be the same organization.
I think so. In Troop 161, I had the pleasure of interviewing this morning a young fellow who it's his first year, and he enjoyed his handing out of pancakes. But I also have the pleasure of working with them at the holiday time. They hand out the hot chocolate and cookies at holiday lighting.
Oh, that's right. Yep. That's right. Our co-host is the co-chair of the Holiday Lighting Committee. You do such great work with that.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the community and their donations. It really helps to make the center spectacular, and not only is it just keep everyone's season bright in the winter time, but it really helps our retailers association. So the donations really come back to us.
Well, here we got this is part of the Army Honor Guard, and right now we've seen representatives of the Commander-in-Chief's militia. These are the old guard.
The fife and drum.
This is the organization that Jay Healey is a part of. I'm sure he's out there. In fact, I see him right here.
There he is.
Yep.
I have to say, I feel like a kid again, just in awe of this parade and all the acts that are here.
Yep.
It's exciting.
Well, this would be the color guard for the U.S. Army. They have the Command Sergeant Major right behind. Followed by the Army's Blue Platoon. They look like they mean business.
They really do. I watch their feet. It's amazing to me how they just march in unison.
And by the way, this is after 2.5 miles of marching.
Right.
Of course, the historical uniformed soldiers.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Desert Storm. You see them all here.
And here we go, the U.S. Army Band.
The West Point Army Band.
Sharing the story of service through music. No, thanks for the tip.
Yeah, well, they're followed by the cadets. They call it the West Point Army Band, and they are cadets. Well, I see some sergeants in there too. But obviously followed by cadets, West Point cadets. the United States Military Academy West Point Corps of Cadets.
Coming now, the USS Constitution, huge part of American and naval history, with strong ties to Boston and everything that's happened here.
Yep, you got him. Her.
So here we are with the commander of the U.S. Constitution, Crystal Schaefer. Crystal, welcome to Lexington. What an honor to have you here today.
Oh, it's just an honor to be here and to help celebrate all these historical moments that we have going on in our country.
That's awesome. Well, we don't want to hold you up, but we just want to welcome you here and thank you for all you do.
Yes, thank you very much for welcoming us.
We're following that with the Navy Band Northeast. They were established in 1974 and based on board Naval Station Newport. They are one of 11 official U.S. Navy bands worldwide, providing musical support and entertainment.
I believe this is the 6th Connecticut Regiment. And they are patriots, because I never understand. When I hear regiments, I always think of the 10th Regiment of Foot, but no, these are contingents who are representing other patriot organizations or Minutemen organizations throughout the country.
Next, we have the Colonial Williamsburg Fife and Drums. They've been around since 1958, educating the public about military music during the American Revolution.
Okay.
Now we have the Daughters of the American Revolution. Actually, Uncle Sam on stilts. There we go. Very good. He does okay on those things.
He does a highlight of everyone each year.
Right. Well, the Daughters of the American Revolution, they have a very active chapter here in Lexington.
You know, I might add, Jim, that I was
Hello, everyone from Uncle
All right,
Sam.
Going out to Chuck
Have
again.
a wonderful holiday.
Thank you, Uncle.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so Daughters of the American Revolution here in Lexington, they celebrate Constitution Week at the Cary Memorial Library every year with a creative Constitution-themed display. The chapter maintains the North American native cultivar garden in the traffic island at the corner of Bedford and Reed Streets in Lexington.
And I have to tell you, Jim, I'm going to give a shout out to Cynthia from the Daughters of the American Revolution. I met her last night when I was shopping for an outfit for today.
No kidding. Oh, lovely.
Full disclosure.
You meet the darndest people.
I do. No, but she told me they do volunteer around the state, and it's again, the volunteering is amazing.
I remember Shirley Lane, who was a member of the Daughters of American Revolution. And she was quite a citizen in this community as well.
This is quite a display they have here. There have been so many people in cars.
Mahoney's.
But, you know, I wanted to say a quick shout out to my friend Cheryl Franks, who couldn't be here. She's under the weather, but you might remember Cheryl Franks, who participated in the 1988 Olympics as a skater.
Yes.
Cheryl, I wish you well. I hope you feel better. Sorry we didn't see you out here today.
Yeah. But oh my goodness, look at Mahoney's float.
That's beautiful.
So now we're looking at, the Mahoney's float. And of course, Wilson's, Mahoney's, they all do such a great job. Wagon Wheel, let's mention them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
Wagon, they'll be coming up.
Yes.
But folks on the camera, you're seeing what's going by. Looking down this street is a sea of red, white, and blue. I am so emotional right now in just an American way. It's really outstanding to see the celebration.
Right. And the Fallen Church, Love and Justice, since 1840. Ralph Waldo Emerson was a celebrant there. He was a minister at the Fallen Church. I don't know if you knew
you
that.
are a font of historian knowledge.
That's why we hang out with Jen. He makes us look smart, Martha.
This is the Londonderry High School Marching Band. They have over 180 members and are New Hampshire's largest and most well-traveled marching band. Let's take a listen.
We're looking at now the Marblehead Base U.S. submarine veterans. They come with their own submarine, which is always nice. Now, this is not the first time they've been in here. This submarine has appeared in the parade in the past. It's always a welcome addition. We're glad to have them back.
Then we have our sponsors, Copey and Sears, Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontics, followed by an amazing Uncle Sam Jazz Band. It's coming down the street now.
Coming up behind the jazz band, we have the ABCL, which is the Association of Black Citizens of Lexington. And every February for the last several years, you've seen their banners throughout Lexington celebrating black citizens who have made amazing contributions to the history of this community. We're glad they're here with us today.
You know, and right behind them are the Suburbanettes twirl team. You know, they've been part of Chelmsford for 48 years, recently placing 8th in a national championship.
I know the Suburbanettes have been around a very long time, and I always enjoy watching them.
Yeah, me too.
Next, we have the Grand Lodge of Masons. You guys don't know this. My grandfather was a Mason. He wore his Mason ring every day of his life.
Wow.
Yep,
I didn't know
he
that.
was very proud, and there's a code of ethic, code of honor among Masons. Their deep roots in Lexington are parallel with the town's journey towards freedom and independence. Okay, and we're going to head over to Chuck, who's
I
got the Grand Mason.
Master of Masons, George Hamilton, with us here today. George, welcome to Lexington.
Thank you. Great to be here. Happy Patriots Day.
We can't thank you enough for joining us in Lexington, and we wanted to just thank you all for all you do.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
I would be remiss if I didn't point out past Grand Master Jeffrey Hodgson on the far outside, a Lexington guy who served this organization well during his time as Grand Master. You know, when you're the Grand Master of the Massachusetts Lodge, you're the third highest ranking Mason in the entire world.
Wow.
We see banners for Seasons 4 and C.D. Donahue and the Michelsons. Who are we watching here?
We're watching the Circus Dynamics performance.
No.
They are entertainers that stilt walk and juggle.
And then behind that is the Magnolia. It is the new Magnolia Jazz Band. 22 years old and is a New Orleans style line band.
And then Janoa the Jesters, engaging people in the crowd, always fun.
Bridging Independent Living Together. Honorable mention in the civic category for their float. Again, Bridging Independent Living Together.
Thank our sponsor, Pro Medical.
Oh, of course. That's our friend Doug Lucente.
Yes.
I had to say it.
You have to say it. He's done so much for our town, not just this past weekend, week, month, year, but his whole life.
Well,
and in addition,
before we mention the carding school, we want to mention the Screw City Drum Band. Awesome.
And then next up as well is the Carding School, serving 72 cities around Massachusetts.
And what do you see on the front door there? First place youth for their float. I think we have over 14 floats in this parade this year. We congratulate them on their achievement.
Absolutely.
Everyone's worked so hard on these floats.
Carding School serves children ages 3 to 22. It's amazing. So proud of them for winning first place.
This is the Ancient Honorables of Massachusetts. They're another organization that has served Massachusetts for a very long time. I've had some friends of mine that have been members of this organization. Some of them have passed, but they all serve with distinction in the community.
Next, we have a very active group coming down the street, CalX, the Chinese Americans of Lexington. They were founded in 2017 to promote participation in service, civic engagement, and help address any concerns from the Chinese American community.
You know, we're very fortunate to have two organizations in town, CalX, Chinese Americans of Lexington, and of course the Chinese American Association of Lexington.
Yes.
I'm honored to know and be friendly with so many people from both organizations. Last year, for the last 2 years in a row, I've actually carried the dragon at the Lunar New Year's.
You have?
I have. Oh. I was not alone, among others.
Yeah, some help.
Among others.
Yeah.
What a pretty float.
see it though.
Some impressive demonstrations here. You know, whether it's the Cal-Lex Lunar New Year or the Cal Lunar New Year, I got to tell you, if you've not been to one of the Lunar New Year celebrations, get to one. It's so extraordinary. The dancing, the singing, the range of talent from young to old. It's extraordinary. I mean, you've seen the ads for Shane Loon and all of that.
Yes.
It's very similar, but this is different. There's no politics in this. This is more or less the arts and, you know, just community. It really is.
And you know, as we're looking at that young student, I agree, Jim. I believe also, you know, Memorial Day is coming up. That's our next big celebration for Lexington. And I believe they put on a nice performance there as well. So if you're in town, please come and support. Oh, yes, yeah. And next up is the Disabled American Veterans of Massachusetts. It's the oldest, largest veterans wartime service organization in the country. As an organization, they propose and promote legislation that benefits injured veterans and their families. Also celebrating its centennial anniversary in 2023.
That guy looks familiar. The Blues Brothers, are they both there? Linwood and what are their names?
Well, now or?
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, so I'm with the
I will say
Michelson
they're two of my
brothers,
favorite
Eric and
people in
Jerry,
Lexington.
and we have Dick Michelson's hat from
We're gonna send it over to Chuck now,
1975.
who's
He's the White Tricon Hot winner from 1975 in the bicentennial year. Gentlemen, what does this day mean to you?
This is a beautiful day. Brings us memories of being a kid and seeing the huge crowds, and everybody's back here this year. We couldn't get a better day.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. You guys are a mainstay in this town, and what a great honor to your dad, Dick Michelson, the late Dick Michelson. Gentlemen, thank you.
Well, you know, I want to point out that's a 1919 Model T, and I wanted to say hi to my friends Jerry and Eric Michelson. That hat is the hat that Dick Michelson won, the white tricorn hat that he won or received in 1975, the year of the bicentennial.
Oh, wow.
He was the youngest recipient. I think he was just 40 or 41 years old. He's a guy who made a huge difference in this community.
He really did, and you know, he fitted me with my first pair of shoes ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Right? And as well as all of my kids.
Jerry and Eric are taking right after
They
him.
really are.
Can't believe the amount of volunteering.
We've got the Great American Marching Band coming by now.
The Lexington Korean organization.
You have the Korean Americans of Lexington.
Yep.
Or COLEX.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another great organization. You know, we have so much great diversity in this community, and I just love it. You know, having seen the changes over the years, you know, I grew up here as a young child. I've seen this community grow and change in ways that are just so profound. You know, I'm so proud to live here still. You know, we had a revolution 250 years ago, and now, you know, over the last 30 years, the complexion of this community has changed so much for the better. We're looking at the New Liberty Jazz Band. These guys, I can't remember the last time they missed a Lexington Parade. I was going to say all the way from New Orleans, but I would be lying. Well, you know, what was it? Back to the Future, right?
Yes.
And here it is, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I feel like I should know what they call that device that took him back. You put stuff in it or whatever, and it would...
The time machine?
No, but they had a word for it, and I can't remember it. I'm showing my age.
You're really jogging my memory. I'm showing my age now, too.
But it was a great film. Oh, wait a minute. Miss Massachusetts is coming up, so we can't miss that. Go ahead. We're going to go out to Chuck. Chuck's going to talk to Miss Massachusetts.
Perfect.
Lexington, we can't thank you enough. What do you want to tell the Lexington community?
I just want to say thank you for having me here on such a historic day. It's amazing to be a part of this event. 250 years.
We can't thank you enough for joining us. Once again, Miss Massachusetts, Kirsten Corey, 2024, Miss Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Kirsten Corey, and by the way, Kirsten Corey, by the way, not only is she lovely, that car is lovely.
It really is.
You know, and she's dedicated her service to redefining dyslexia.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Now we have the National Lancers, the official mounted ceremonial unit of the Massachusetts Organized Militia.
I don't know, there's something so regal about a horse, you know?
Yeah.
I just love them so much. They're beautiful animals.
They really are.
By the way, the national anthem, the national anthems, they're a, what do they call it? A mounted ceremonial unit of the Massachusetts Organized Militia. They say that Lancers have served in 2 wars and were awarded 17 battle streamers. The commander is Brigadier General Richard Real, it looks like.
And then we've got the Dirty Water Brass Band coming down on a Stratford landscaping truck.
Any relation to our friend Steve Stratford?
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think that's his nephew.
Oh, wow. Well, then a shout out to Steve and his nephew.
It's a fun way to go down the street.
Sure.
And now coming up is the Massachusetts State Grange. Over 150 years, they are focused on strengthening local communities, keeping true to roots by promoting local agriculture and agriculture education.
We're looking at a sponsorship banner. Well, actually, we're not, but it's coming up for Alan Bogosian Electric, another fine Lexington family. I knew his dad, Vaughn, was a great guy who started that business some time ago. I want to do a quick shout out to Judy Schuler, our good friend, who lost her husband, Clark. We knew him as Dutch. He was a great guy. Judy's home today watching the parade with us, and welcome, Judy. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
And let's listen to the Roma Band musicians. They're amazing.
Duck Tooth is why we have a duck. They're one of our parade sponsors, a dental organization in town.
Then we have Lester Savage, another sponsor, realtor, Lexington resident.
And of course, Wagon Wheel. And Wagon Wheel always puts a beautiful effort into whenever they put a float together. They do a great job. And, and I have to say, I do have to say this. This is one of their busiest weekends. We've got Easter coming and all that. They find the time to get involved. And, we did see Wilson Farm yesterday down at the Boston 25. But apparently, I guess it's been pointed out to me that Wagon Wheelers won first prize.
It's amazing.
As the commercial float. But that's not the first time. Like I say, they put a lot of effort into this, and they deserve it. It's a beautiful float.
They really put out a beautiful float every year.
Yeah, and Nick Canalonga, the father, is also a white tricorn hat winner, a Rotarian, and a good friend of mine. And I'm so happy to call the Canalongas my friend. Nancy Canalonga, Nick's wife, they're all such great people. And then
Larry and I graduated high school together in 1992.
Larry and Nick Jr. now run the organization.
And now we're listening to the Worcester Military Organ.
Now we're seeing Lex Farm, Lexington Community Farm. It's a nonprofit that grows organic vegetables for a CSA and is for sale. And
for generations, it was known as Sun Valley Farm, run by the Booster family.
Of course you know that, Jim.
Of course. The Booster families have been around for a long time. Some of the family were in the liquor and real estate business, but they all came here as farmers.
And the farm is located at 52 Lowell Street, right here in town.
And now next up is the Lexington Field and Garden Club.
Mike, can I say, I was out driving around the other day, and I came across folks working. When you drive around and you see the beautiful islands that are cared for in this community, the Lexington Field and Garden Club are responsible. Emery Park, our surroundings right here, too, at the library. But just, literally every major island in the community, they care for. They're out there every week, diligently, making it look beautiful and colorful. They really deserve our gratitude for making this community look so good.
They do. Now we're coming up to the Monroe Center for the Arts. What an amazing facility that is. They've been providing music, dance, and art education in Lexington for 40 years. And plus they have a lot of summer camps. I know my daughter went to summer camp there. It was a home away from home for many years.
We're listening.
All right, we're going to go out to the street with Chuck. Chuck's always
we have the Monroe
Center for the Arts.
Monroe Center for the Arts. They got the first place civic float. Tell us about it.
We had so many people helping to create this. We have 40 participants walking. We're celebrating 40 years of arts education in Lexington.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, everyone. Congratulations. All right, congratulations.
Oh.
Ep Sonnen. Hello, Ep. Good to see you. I love Ep Sonnen. Lexington Music School. I think she's been there. They've been there 40 years, and I think she's been there as long as they've been there.
All right. Davey the Clown just went by us on a unicycle.
We got a lot of unicycles today.
We really do, and a lot of stilts, speaking of.
I used to ride a unicycle.
No, you didn't.
I don't
You're
believe
right,
you.
I did not. I'm lying. I'm sorry.
Have you ever walked on stilts?
Actually,
only like 2-foot stilts when I was a kid. We made them like in Cub Scouts.
Oh, with the cans.
Yeah, well, I don't know what, but yeah, but I definitely lied about the unicycle. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it was. it gave me great joy to hear that and envision it.
Then I pulled the rug right up from underneath. Sure. Chuck's busy out on the street. We're going to go out. Chuck's got some young citizens that I guess he's going to talk with. He's calling them right out to the street. No flies on Chuck. All right, let's go to Chuck.
What's your name?
Marvy.
Marvy, what's your name? Turn around, look right up there.
Tryon.
Tryon? Well, are you having fun at the parade today?
Yes.
Yes. Look right up there. What's the best part? What have you liked so far?
The parade.
The parade, yeah. Any floats, any bands?
Something I liked the marching.
You like the marching? And how about you?
I like the horses.
You like the horses. All right, the marching and the horses. We're going to bring it right back. Thanks.
Okay. All right, we've got our Greater Boston Firefighters, Pipes and Drums. They were founded in 2007 and are active and retired first responders from various departments around the Boston area.
Looks like more Masons coming down the street. Oh, I'm sorry, Lexington Lodge of Elks. But you know, they're no longer just Lexington. It's Lexington and Waltham Lodge of Elks. They've joined forces. And I know a lot of folks in this organization. My old friend Joe Lahiff was an officer in this organization. I actually was part of it for a very short period of time. And I enjoyed the little bit of time I spent there, but they really do great things. You know, they provide a flag once a year for the battle green, and they present it once a year on Flag Day to the town of Lexington.
We've got the McGann Marching Band coming by.
A couple of more banners, Suzanne and Company. We're looking at Lexington Dental Associates. You know, they're celebrating 75 years.
We've also got the Lexington Alliance Youth Branch.
Yeah. I might point out that Copey and Sears just celebrated 50 years. And you know, Dr. Copey was a longtime member of the 10th Regiment of Foot. For years and years, yeah. They're the Stewart Highlanders pipe band. A lot of pipe bands today.
Yeah.
Let's listen to them. Get in there, Chuck. Get in there, Chuck. Nope, take no prisoners, Chuck.
Right now we have class of 65 car coming down the street with Ethan Zahn, who I graduated high school. Come on.
We want to say...
Oh.
Hey,
you got him.
Hey, we want to say a quick hello to Ethan Zahn as well. Ethan, Chuck Shaw, my friend, nice to see you. Ethan, I coached Ethan in Pop Warner football back in the 80s in the class of 65. Ethan, tell us what it's like to be back to Lexington.
Oh my God, I was just talking about it. I mean, the energy, the history, the excitement here, the smell of musket powder and Dunkin' Donuts in the air. It just doesn't get any better than this. This is my favorite holiday of the year. And so it's great to be back with family. I was at the reenactment. I ran the road race with this guy right here. Now we're in the parade. It's unbelievable.
Well, listen, it's been a long time since I've seen you. I coached Ethan in Pop Warner football back in the 80s.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hey, have a great day. Ethan, welcome back. We're going to turn it back over.
That was fun. Oh, I see Trend in Motion coming down the street. That's a fun hip-hop dance troupe.
I wanted to mention we did see across Lexington. If you ever see those little blue tricorn hats on the little paths around town, that's a way to determine how to move around on some of the trails throughout Lexington. Those folks went to a lot of work to lay it out so people could know how to enjoy our conservation land throughout the community.
They did, and Justine was talking about community service hours before. All of my kids earned community service hours, putting the pamphlets with the information in those little spots along.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's great.
And you know, Thank you, Martha. Now we're watching Trend in Motion, established in 2012, a diverse hip-hop dance troupe who express themselves through the freedom of movement to Afro-Caribbean and Latin rhythms. Trend in Motion spread the joy and spirit of dance to youth and old onlookers. Look at them go.
Can't read it.
ECAM Boston. This group was formed in January 2019, encouraging adults and youth participating in participate in volunteering in the greater Boston area.
Indian Americans of Lexington we're looking at now. And you know, their Festival of Colors is coming up.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I love that. I got pummeled last year. I left there so colorful. I did. I can say that Julie Hackett, our superintendent, she snuck up on me and got me good.
Oh, that's great.
How so?
It was great. No, she just hurled the colors at me, and I left there with a lot of color, and it was a lot of fun.
It really is. This is the Reminiscence making their way to us. They have been entertaining people of all ages throughout New England since 1973.
We're still looking at the Indian Americans of Lexington, so that's a little premature.
Oh, indeed it is.
The Reminiscence are coming up behind. You know, I went on several cruises with the Reminiscence to Bermuda.
Did you really?
My parents had a travel agency, and once a year they would book the Reminiscence for a Boston to Bermuda cruise, and I literally probably cruised with them 10 times.
Wow.
And they would, and I'll tell you, they brought so many people onto the cruise ships. The Reminiscence is a lot of fun. Yeah, because Chuck knows them well. All right, Chuck. Say hi to our
Once
friends.
again, we have the Reminiscence. The Reminiscence are here every single year. Mike Joyle, the original band member, and the Reminiscence. Michael, wave to the crowd. Welcome back again. Every year they're part of the parade. They're part of summer events. Every single year. We're going to turn it back.
Yep, Mike Joyle wearing the white cap. He's been leading this band for over 50 years.
Well, next up is Immigration. Let It Continue Here, a newly formed group that wants to bring awareness to the fact that our community was formed and continues to be formed by immigrants.
Right. And we're also now looking at the class of 75, their 50th reunion. I want to say Lester Savage is in there somewhere. I think he has his 50th reunion.
Well, you're really calling him out today, aren't you?
I am. Actually, you know, Best Actress, what is this? Ellen, these
a little
are the
bit behind, yeah. But you look better than I do. Hey, look at this. Jimmy, the Pride of Lexington on his leg. Look at that, class of 75. We love that. Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, welcome back. So glad you could be here for this important year. You know, there are other classes celebrating anniversaries this weekend, too. I think people assumed there'd be so much going on in Lexington that they decided to hold class reunions this weekend.
I think you're right. Look how many people from the class of 75 have come out today. That's impressive.
Well, and those are just the ones marching.
Right.
And you know, folks, marching, they're holding up signs, and I see 50 years ago, the price of gas was 59 cents a gallon.
Huh.
Oh, Lexington Pickleball. Well, this is a real
phenomenon. The Green Trolley is the Joseph Hill American Legion band. Green Trolley is Joseph Hill American Legion.
This is the Joseph Hill American Legion band. There was a Dot Hill post, too. I think that was his wife. very active citizens in the city of Waltham, and they've come year after year to this parade. Behind them is a group that I'm very near and dear to, the Lexington Goes Purple. The Lexington Goes Purple is behind them. And they're working to end Alzheimer's, and they every year in May and June they go purple. You see, they turn the parking meters purple. We have an annual purple dog parade. It's a great celebration.
It really is.
I actually host the dog parade.
You do host the dog
and
parade?
It's not because I look like a dog.
Is it because you love dogs so much?
I love dogs.
No.
I love your dogs too.
Thank you.
The catnip junkies are going by with us right now. You know, I love the bands that are coming out today.
Folks, my favorite is the Stable Clydesdales. This is the Hobby Knowles Stable Clydesdale. They're a 4-horse hitch from Duxbury, Mass. Phil and Andrea Anderson are driving the hitch.
I'm with you, Justine. They're one of my favorites, too.
Since I was a kid, it wasn't a parade if there wasn't a Clydesdale in it.
You're right.
They're absolutely beautiful.
Save Our Heritage. Oh, the Lexington Lyceum. That's coming up now. Right.
Mariachi band. Here they come. Let's take a listen.
Okay, we're looking at an artisan dance academy, Dance Better. Obviously, exotic dancing from around the world, and we love to see this.
Beautiful costumes, right?
They're out of Needham, Mass, formed in 2016, and they just provide a great opportunity for students to unlock their full potential in dance.
Then we've got our patriotic ponies going by. A sponsor, James McLaughlin, followed by so many members of Harrington Elementary School, students, principal, PTA members, and parents.
Can I say I went to Harrington School?
You can say that.
In the 1960s, my son Devin, who's on the camera, went to Harrington School, and I saw Mr. and Mrs. Josiason, Joseph and Sally Josiason, celebrating their 50th anniversary this week. It was so good to see them. You know, they're such good friends of ours in Lexington.
We're going to turn it over to Chuck real quick.
Okay.
We have Miss Fales, who was my teacher, and my brother Jimmy's up there from Harrington School in the early 70s.
That's
right.
What a pleasure it is to see you.
It's a pleasure. Harrington is fabulous. I still sub, and they invited me.
I can't believe this is like the highlight of my day.
Oh, that's
Listen,
great.
Thank you for coming back and for everything you've done for us.
I know.
I turned out all right, didn't I? All right. I love you. Thank you.
Right.
Miss Fales from Harrington School.
Very good. So great to see her. Awesome.
And let's not forget about the Rotary Club of Lexington.
I want to say that. Miss Fales is one of my teachers, too. It brings back great memories. But I am a member of the Rotary Club, and if I don't say that they're here in the parade and doing an excellent job, then I will be fined, and I don't want that. But no, they're a great group of people that do a lot of good things in this community, so we appreciate everything that the Rotary Club does here in Lexington. And now we're looking at the second place Civic.
The Lexington Veterans Association.
And they won the second place for their float. Won
There's
second
Linda.
place award
I
for
see
the
Linda
Civic.
Dixon right there.
What a beautiful patriotic float.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know, I just wanted to call out class of Lexington High School 1985. It is their 40th anniversary from graduating.
Right? We got all of our friends now. What is this? The New Legacy Cultural Center, Ting Fang. Amazing. This organization. Look at them flourish. They have been around only a few years, but they have grown so big.
And they received the Honorable Mention Youth Award.
Gotcha.
Which is wonderful.
It's a beautiful float, and I have to say, I'm really impressed with the floats. They've done an extraordinary job with these floats this year.
They really have. It's been a beautiful parade so far.
Yep. And now Bike Lexington. We have such beautiful bike trails in Lexington, in the bikeways.
We really do.
The Jack Edison Bikeway. I knew Jack Edison, great guy. He was.
My great uncle worked for the Edison Company.
You know, the three of us just have so many connections to so many of these floats
just good
and
people
entertainment.
It's
a small world.
People we've come across in our lives. It's a small town.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
We're listening to the Tony Barry Band.
Oh, and then we have our Lexington Little League representation. That was a staple
awesome.
in my house for so many years.
One of my favorite days of the year. It's a rite of spring when the Little League parade comes down Massachusetts Avenue.
I love it.
I love it too.
And look at this beautiful display from our friends at CAL, Chinese American Association of Lexington.
Right. Oh, there's Hua Wang. Hi, Hua. He's a good guy. Hua Wang is one of the best.
I remember talking to him on the street last year this time.
Yep. This organization has done so much, you know, from COVID, actually since before COVID, but they had made such a big difference, as did COLEX and all the other organizations. But CAL stepped up and raised thousands and thousands of dollars and made masks and made things happen in a way that was so important. And they continue to do that. And a shout out to the Cal Youth Leadership Council. These young kids, they get involved in the community in ways that is just extraordinary. They don't look at the number of hours that you're supposed to put in for the course of the year. They just go out there and do it.
Beautiful costumes too.
Yes.
Next up, we've got the Aleppo Shriners. This is one of my favorite performances.
It wouldn't be a parade in Lexington without a representation from the Aleppo Shriners.
It really wouldn't.
Yep.
They've been around since 1882, headquartered in Boston.
I think we're about to go out to Chuck.
All right, I'm with Leo Borgione of the Shriners. Listen, we can't thank you enough. This parade would be nothing without the Shriners.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Tell us what it means to come back to Lexington year after year.
It's an honor for us to come here every year. It's probably one of the best parades we've done in many, many years.
I tell you, I'm interviewing kids on the street, and I'm asking them what their highlight is, and everyone is saying either the clowns, the motorcycles, or these little go-karts. They're drifters. They're big wheels on steroids. So listen, let's give a wave to the town of Lexington. These are people watching at home. Thank you for being here each and every year and all you do for the Lexington Parade.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of the parade.
Oh, they are amazing.
I'm assuming that was the potentate. Just wanted to bring that up because Martha went out and talked to the potentate last year. But, you know, it wouldn't be a parade, I was saying, without the Shriners. And the work they do is extraordinary. I mean, you know, the Shriners Burn Institute, the work they do with children.
In all seriousness, they do a tremendous amount of work, and it really is all about the kids. And
none of these hundreds of people that perform, none of them, it's all volunteer. Nobody gets paid. They dedicate, and they do this. It's not that they just come to this parade. They go to parade and events all year long. Every weekend there's something.
And the care they give to children is also free of charge. It's really an unbelievable program.
I want to say hello to both my wife, who's watching at home, and my sister, Marie Shaw Rodriguez, who couldn't make it to Lexington, but she's actually out on the other. She's not too far away. I don't know why she didn't make the effort, but you know, I'm glad you're watching, Marie. I hope you're enjoying the show. We ate your food, so I'm just saying. Wish you were here. You know, and I wanted to say hi. I was going to say, I thought Elaine Gratch may be at home, Rachel's mom, but she was in the car.
No, she was in the car with Rachel.
It was good to see her. You know, she and I, we call each other running mates. We used to run together every 3 years for town meeting. We'd stand outside.
You and Elaine.
And Elaine all day long, glad handing for votes.
That'll bond. That's a bonding experience right there.
She always got more votes than me. So there's that.
You know, you're bringing back memories. Both Martha and I were town meeting members, but Hank Mans. That's who I spent many of days.
I'm glad you mentioned Hank Mans because, you know, it just wouldn't be right if we did not recognize him.
Yes.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Chuck.
Thank you for being here. I just talked to one of your other
Puntade.
guys. The Lexington Parade would not even happen without the Shriners. Tell us what it means to you to come back to Lexington each and every year.
Well, thank you so much. Lexington is such a special city that we know that it begins with our patriotism and it ends with our patriotism. So every year we look forward. And as you can see, we've got a couple hundred Shriners here because they know how serious it is. And thank you. I was at, last night I was at the North End. What a great 250th start. And this today has been a wonderful day. And thank you.
Thank you. Once again, we can't thank you enough. As I go around and I ask the kids what the highlight of the day is, they all tell me they can't wait for the clowns, the drifters, and the trains and the little cars. All right. Listen, thank you, sir. Once again, thank you. We want to say thank you to all the Shriners for everything you do. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, and you know what? I mistakenly said the other guy might have been the potentate, but I am absolutely certain now that that is the potentate of the Shriners.
You are correct.
Good. And by the way, for those who don't know, the potentate is the highest office holder in the Shriners.
They're really just a massive, massive group every single year.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking down the avenue and I don't even see where they end. You know, while we're watching the Shriners go down, you know, I think it would be a fitting opportunity to talk about, the Lex250 Commission. I know we mentioned it before when we were talking about volunteerism, but the people who work so hard to bring us all of these spectacular events, and they're far from over. Monday, we've got the Patriotic Picnic in the park at over where we have an appearance by Keith Lockhart and members of the Boston Pops playing there during the mealtime. People, you go to lex250.org for the exact times. But the people who have been dedicating so much time and energy to bring us all of these great events, I really, I don't know if they had to have put their lives on hold for the longest time. And, I particularly want to point out my good friend Doug Lucente, who spent, he's been involved all the way back to the countdown calendar, and he's done some extraordinary things to help make this a success. That doesn't take away from the other folks, because there have been so many good people, but I would be personally remiss if I didn't say thank you to my friend Doug.
He's done an amazing job.
Oh, and Mona Roy. I'm sorry. So you say one, then you got to keep going, right? Mona Roy, who's the 250. Everyone knows that Susie Barry has done a lot yeoman's work as the chair, but Mona Roy is somebody who has worked tirelessly on this. Like I said, you start, then you got to keep going. But I would be, again, I couldn't not acknowledge this without talking about Mona.
I agree, Jim. I worked closely with Mona when we had the drone show back in the fall in November, and she was amazing. I was in awe, and the amount of volunteers, it's incredible.
We got the Shriners Brass Band coming up. Let's listen to them for a minute. There's nothing like a brass band.
Told me.
Well,
My name is Bob Vitaris. I've probably been with the Shrine on, I believe, 12 years or so. Helping kids and helping their families, it's an incredible thing to do.
Well, we can't thank you enough from the bottom of our heart in the town of Lexington for being part of this each and every year. Thanks, Bob. Have a good day.
I want some of these too. I sound like a kid at Christmas. I want that.
I know.
I want that.
It's okay. That's what a parade does. It brings back the childhood in you. Yes.
Doesn't it?
And I wanted to give a big shout out to the Lexington DPW and the countless hours that they put in, and Dave Pinsino, really extraordinary work by the DPW.
Oh, there's no question. Dave has an organization of really dedicated people. I have the pleasure of working with David a lot, and I love the fact that we can, in the Lexington Times, tell their story, and include them in a lot of the coverage that we provide. People need to know the extraordinary contributions that these people make, whether it's the police, the fire, public safety, DPW, often the unsung heroes.
They really are.
Because they're not wearing the
always
uniform,
there.
and they're out there, and when we're all home, they're still working.
They are. They're there before we get there and after we leave, and they never say no. They're always there to help and support our town.
They do. We're fortunate to have people like David and all of the people in his crew.
Absolutely.
Chris Philidoro, he's one of the
he's
senior
a tree
folks
warden.
over there.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you start there. Where do you stop? You know,
I know.
because they're all
You could
such
go
good
on and
people.
on. They really are.
Joel Custance is another one who I know and respect a great deal.
And you know, even as a resident, I go in there from time to time, and everyone is so helpful.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You know, even Steve Barther, our new town manager, he hit the ground running. He's been welcoming people. I've seen him having coffees with people. You know,
I agree.
all the time. You know,
Yep.
down at the community center. He's reaching out in a way that really makes a difference. I'm a little worried about Cleve. I don't know if you see him. We can't see him on the screen.
Well,
But he's dodging these semis.
They're coming straight at him.
I know he's head of security, but I'm worried about him.
I'm a little concerned that he doesn't know when to get out of traffic.
He takes his job very seriously.
He does. He's not writing a ticket, is he? He won't be happy that we're not making fun of him. We're enjoying. You know, he's such a good friend that we can poke fun at
Absolutely.
him, and he's such a good guy.
No, and he takes his role as head of security for the Lex250 very seriously.
Oh my God, he's all business.
Dedicated hours and hours to all of these community meetings throughout the year.
Oh, countless hours. More meetings. You know, the Lex250, he goes to all of those meetings. Then he goes to all the regional security meetings.
Right.
Meeting with NEMLEC, MEMA, Mass Emergency Management. Look at this, Lexington Fire Department. Look, wow, we have some equipment here. That's kind of cool. Special operations. Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure that's part of the parade.
I don't know.
Not when you...
Well, they're exiting the parade. That much I do know.
Yeah. Do you guys want water?
No. I wonder if these are like duck boats coming down. The fire brigade.
I think they're tugboats, Jim.
Well, it says fire brigade right on the side. Marine
It does,
One.
yes.
But it is, in fact, a tugboat. You're
Yes.
right.
No, I thought he said duck boat.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Well,
we're
what
not
kind of duck, tub, you know, what a tugboat. If it walks like a dog and barks like a dog, it's a dog.
It's a dog.
Right? As our friend Rachel would say, it's a dog.
It's a dog. Wow, these Shriners just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Jim, I want to know, when is Rachel going to get you on Saturday Night Live?
You know, we were talking about that, and I've been busy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. I'm a very busy guy.
Yes,
But
you
I
are.
said if the opportunity ever came around, I would rather be on the writing team. I would.
Would you?
I'd rather write. Yeah, I would.
So what
rather
you're
write.
saying is you don't have time to be on Saturday Night Live.
Well, you know, I would take their call.
You would? Okay.
I would.
All right.
I'm putting it out there. I would take their call.
Okay.
Motorcycles. I mean, these guys, these precision, you know, the way they turn on the streets and crisscross around people walking across the street.
You know, the Shriners always have so many people involved in their performance, but I think it's more than usual this year.
Oh, there's no doubt.
No, I think they doubled. I think I was hearing they doubled
full
the amount of.
complement of Shriners this
Yes.
year. Those look like Triumph motorcycles too. If they are, they're really good motorcycles.
Do you ride a motorcycle, Jim?
I don't. I fall off them. I've never been a motorcyclist. All right. Absolutely.
All right.
Chuck, go ahead.
Winston here. Winston is from the Lincoln Minuteman Group. Lincoln, tell us what it's like to be here in Lexington today for the 250th anniversary.
Could not imagine this many people, this many happy people, and this many kind people. The entire town
is just filled with people who've been very kind, very generous with their time and very helpful to us, and it's just wonderful to see people out celebrating.
Perfect. How long have you been part of the Lincoln Minutemen?
I just joined this year to be part of the 250th.
You joined this year? Well, look at that. Well, welcome to Lexington. We hope you come back each and every year. Thank you, Winston. Back to the desk.
Well, we want to mention that we've got the McDermott family military reenactment with vehicles. I know we just watched them come by. The military vehicle collectors, and they restore these vehicles from the 1950s to the 1980s.
And then we've got Camp Constitution coming this way. They are a charitable trust that was founded in 2009, and they are teaching the U.S. Constitution and history.
Couldn't we all have a good lesson in the Constitution, I'll tell you.
I think you could give one, Jim.
It's a living
I think
document.
you're prepared to teach one.
A living, breathing document that we need to protect so much.
Yeah.
You know, if the celebration this weekend doesn't speak to that, I don't know what does.
It's true. I'd still take a class from you sometime.
Well, it was an IMHO, in my humble opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
And next up is the Bedford Minuteman Company, marching, a ceremonial unit dedicated to keeping our colonial heritage alive and honoring the Bedford flag, the first battle flag to fly over the colonials in the American Revolution.
Not right now. Not right now. Well, let's let a couple of these Minutemen troops come by, and then we'll go out to them. Okay. We did just see a member of the Lincoln Minutemen. I don't know. I think he's rejoined his group. I see him out there.
There he is.
So we're looking at the Lincoln Minutemen, also playing a very important part, especially in the retreat back from Concord, April 19th, 1775. Coming up, I think of the best dressed members of Patriot Nation, and I'm not talking about New England Patriots. The Middlesex County Volunteers. Those beautiful white uniforms, you can see them coming down the avenue.
They are something.
And then, of course, behind them, there's Captain Parker's portrayed by Steve Cole, a good personal friend of mine. And I'll tell you, he's been involved with this organization since he was a teenager.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he's portrayed, he normally portrays William Diamond.
Yes.
And it's an important year. His grandfather was State Rep Lincoln Cole.
Look at Sal Marabella. I've known Sal a long time.
That's not Sal. All right, Chuck.
Day, once again, we have the lead security, Cleve Coates. Cleve, tell us how this day went. Now it's wrapping up. The sigh of relief must be there, and that's it. Tell me how you feel about the whole day.
Absolutely. It was a team effort. We had some minor issues with the heat as far as a little medical issues, but the fire department was well in hand. You can see we had a lot of ATV vehicles that could function throughout the crowd. They were actually on pedal bicycles also, too. So it was a quick response there, but we were able to, through planning, to react to anything that we had to. So really, it's a good closure to this. Everybody's having a good time. And we're looking forward to actually Monday and Tuesday to wrap it up. We Hastings in the park, a picnic in the park at Hastings, which we're looking forward to that. Keith Lockhart will be there with the Pops, and also Paul Revere will be there making it at the end, towards the end there. So we're very happy with the team effort that's worked with all of our law enforcement partners, state, federal, and local, and also our fire departments.
Well, on behalf of the town of Lexington, we can't thank you enough for your dedication to the Lex250 and what you've done for the lead. And 15 years ago, you would have chased that guy down the road for burning out on Mass Ave.
That's right. And probably caught him.
On foot. Thank you. We're going to turn it back to the desk.
All right. Look at it. I was getting ready to wrap up. I did want to mention, while he was talking to Cleve, we had the Eastern Mass Classic Chevy Car Organization, and I did want to give a shout out to them. It's a nice way to finish the parade. We've got members of the Lexington Police Bike Patrol, along with members of the fire department and the Lexington. I think I might have been the police chief that passed. And I think that draws a conclusion to the Lex250 parade. As I said before, this is not the end of the celebration. We're sort of, tonight we have the Bicentennial Band playing this evening at Cary Hall. I know that's going to be a spectacular concert. I saw Jeff Leonard today, the conductor of the and music director of the Bicentennial Band, and I know he's looking forward to his performance and the performance of his organization. If you haven't had a chance to come out and see the Bicentennial Band, get out there and do it. It's worth it. So that'll cap off tonight. Tomorrow is actually Easter.
Yes.
And so we'll have some time off for Easter, and then back at it on Monday for Patriotic Picnic in the Park. And then there'll be some other events that'll be taking place throughout the morning and part of the afternoon. I guess we'll have we have the citizenship on Tuesday. We're swearing in a whole bunch of new American citizens on the Lexington Battle Green. It'll be a very, very special occasion. I know that's something we've been doing now, but particularly this year, we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the birth of our nation, or at least the start of that process right here. The folks that stood on our battle green, they stood up against incredible odds. Nobody that morning woke up in Lexington saying, I'm going to die today for my country. But once they stood their ground, it was set in motion. And the men who did die, I'm sure they didn't know, but now we honor them 250 years later, the sacrifices they made that day, the differences that it had on the entire world. I mean, the world was watching, and it made a huge difference. So with those new citizens coming along, it's very exciting. Are you going to plan to get down there?
I'm going to do my best, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an unbelievable weekend. I mean, I couldn't even put my finger on what my favorite part was.
Oh, yeah.
And the more to come. I would say my highlight is sitting here with the two of you. I'm happy to have been here this year. This is a true honor.
Well, I think I'm the lucky one. You guys, you always joke about, a rose between two thorns, but no, this is the thorn between two roses. Are you kidding me? Let me take a minute to thank our incredible staff. We could not do this without them. We sit here and we talk and we have fun and we banter, and we get to watch the parade from this really nice vantage point.
Absolutely.
And wave to our friends. But we have a dozen or more people who have been working for weeks and weeks and weeks to organize this and bring it all together. The technical staff, the management staff, everybody that's come together to make this happen. The folks over at LexMedia are just extraordinarily dedicated people, and I, for one, want to tip my hat to them, both as chair of the board, but as somebody who just loves being around them. They're good people.
I agree, Jim. I also want to say thank you, LexMedia. Thank you for letting me be part of your day today. What you do is so impressive, and it's easy to sit here and host this parade thanks to you.
Mm-hmm. Anything?
Absolutely. You guys make it easy for us. This has just been so much fun, and it couldn't be fun for us without all the work that you guys are doing. So thank you so much.
And as much as I would love to sit here all day and talk, I think it's time to say goodbye.
He really would.
And
He would.
I would. Hey, I'm not lying, but no, because I don't want it to end. That's the thing.
I know.
We've all worked so hard for so long. It's an extraordinary celebration. The weather has been good. I mean, everything has just come together. So, congratulations to everybody involved. Thank you to the community for coming out and enjoying the celebration. Again, it's not over. Keep coming out, enjoying these events. And it's not really a happy birthday. It's happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
To the birth of our nation. right here from Lexington,
Absolutely.
Massachusetts, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, especially with you two.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank
Me
you.
too.
Great to be here.
Thank you, Lexington.